Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ops meeting, the County Operations Committee. I am Marita Davis Johnson, and I chair this committee. I'm joined today by my colleague and committee member, Commissioner Ladina Bowden. And at this point, Commissioner, have you had an opportunity to read the meeting minutes?
Yes, ma'am. I move to approve item 1830.
Oh, okay, and I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's approved. And so we have a couple of discussions that we'll have prior to the agenda, and then we'll come back for the standing rules to continue. Georgia Piedmont, is Dr. Holston here? Oh, well, that's my friend. Come on up. How are you this morning?
I am absolutely wonderful. It is a pleasure to be here with you all in the committee this morning.
Well, thank you. I hear you have some exciting news for us.
We have some very exciting news. First of all, Madam Chair, thank you and the committee for inviting me here. I'm the president of Georgia Piedmont Technical College. Today, I'm actually wearing a name tag that says Hype Train Coordinator.
Right.
And so I'm excited about the work that we're doing here at the college. We are your technical college. We serve DeKalb, Rockdale, and Newton counties. And so the exciting news that I have is that since about 2021, right during COVID, we started a project called our Regional Transportation Training Center off in Stonecrest. Well, excuse me, it's Lithonia, but Stonecrest gave us money to say, please call it Stonecrest. So does DeKalb, yeah. But we have, let me put it this way. We have a new training facility off of Marbert Road. It will be opening on January the 7th. The public is invited to be there. We invite you all to join us as well, commissioners. That will be a fantastic day where we finally cut the ribbon on what I believe is Congressman Johnson called the jewel of this region. And so that project, this commission actually supported that project to the tune of about $4 million. I believe that what makes this project very exciting and unique, when you think about the political atmosphere, there was support for this project from the state, from the federal level, from the county level, from the city of Stonecrest, from all across the aisle, regardless of the political party. And so that project came to about a total of $12 million. We'll be training truck drivers and bus drivers and civil engineers and diesel technicians. We do all of the training for MARTA. I'm not sure if most folks know that, but we train all the MARTA bus drivers except for the ones that hold you up in traffic. Those aren't our trainees. But so we're really excited about this. As I said, January the 7th, that's about a 24,000 square foot facility that will be opening. It will be the largest of its kind on the East Coast. So this is truly a jewel and an economic driver for this region. And so I just want to say thank you to this commission, and we'll celebrate the whole event on that day. But this is a great event. We're so excited. Commissioner, I know you were there and signed on that original, that document to support this project, and I believe that students' lives will be changed. And I'll shut up in just a second, but what I get really excited about is the impact that this has on the families of DeKalb County. Truck drivers, after 8 weeks of training, our citizens in this county, after 8 weeks of training, they'll be able to start driving and making money up to about starting around $60,000. If they get on Walmart, more than six-figure jobs. So we're talking high-paying, high-demand careers, folks that are going to get jobs, and they're going to be contributing to the tax base. So I know we get excited about that as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I also had something I want to actually show you if we had it queued up so you can see what this looks like. Okay.
Demetrius.
Okay, but we'll serve over 600 to 800 students per semester. So about 1,500 to 2,000 folks per year will come through that program.
Okay, so while they're getting that together, I'm going to see if my committee member, Dr. Bolton, have any questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions, but I did want to just formally say hello and commend you on the program, and of course the county and the city and all for supporting, because when we talk about training our population or training our residency for industry-specific careers, this is exactly one of those things that we're talking about. This is a hub for, 16, 18-wheelers in and out, bringing in or traveling through Atlanta in order to support either this region or adjacent regions. And so you're helping to create a base, you're helping to create opportunities for families to take care of themselves and create the quality of life that they want and they see the vision for them. And so I'm excited that it's happening here. And you said, I believe you said the largest of its kind, the largest of its kind on the East Coast. So you are definitely making sure we make our mark on the map of innovation. So thank you for that.
Thank you for those remarks, and I'll just say that it just makes sense for considering our infrastructure here and the students, and I would get so excited about that work. So thank you for those comments.
Okay, and I just want to say it's in our district, and
Additional kudos for that. Yep.
Yeah, and Southeast DeKalb, and I'm just so proud. I think that Fleet has some collaboration with Georgia Piedmont, and I wanted to bring Director Gordon up just to mention that, and then they're ready for the video.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Don't sit down though.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, we've been partnered with Piedmont Tech now for, about 6 years with the apprenticeship program that you helped us get started, and along with this gentleman part of that as well. And it's been very successful. We continue to get students from Piedmont, and when they get through the program, we hire them and make them full-time technicians. But the program is just, I know she knows, but is they work for us during the day and go to school at night, 8 hours a day, and they get some really good training, and it's been very beneficial to us because it's so hard to find technicians. And so the new facility, we went out for the groundbreaking over there the other day, or grand opening, I believe it was, and got to see it. It's really nice. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think we're ready for the video. Oh, is that the campus?
That's the campus.
Beautiful. Okay, DCTV. Yeah, can we start it over? Well, we have to come back and hear the music on it. But is it anything that you want to say pertaining to this video?
Basically, what you're saying is you're saying a brand new building, and where this came from, Commissioner, if you remember, before that building was there, FedEx, excuse me, I don't know if I was supposed to say the name, but a prospect came to us and they wanted us to provide some training. And at the time, we had a modular unit, and it was basically falling apart. And so that prospect came out to the actual to the site. They got out of the car, and they said, "We're not going to send our people here." And so when that got back to me, I said, "We will never have that happen again at this campus in DeKalb County at Georgia Piedmont Technical College." So because we're petty, we actually built that brand new building on the site of where that modular was. And so it's a brand new, beautiful facility. There's 2 buildings on that site. And so we're really proud about it. And the last thing I'll say is the work that we're doing together in this partnership is very important. And it's actually caught national attention. We're actually, our college, your college, is going to be featured on PBS, on the PBS documentary that are going to 60 million households across the land. We were the technical college out of the entire nation that was selected to be highlighted in this way. And that work is largely in partnership in what we do with the DeKalb County government. So I just want to say thank you. What we're doing is important. People are depending on us for their livelihood, for training, for workforce development. Our employers need us to make sure they get the folks that they need to hire. I know we were just having a conversation offline here talking about how hard it is to hire people just right here for the county. So that need is across DeKalb County. So we're happy to be a part of it, and thank you for your time, Madam Chair.
And thank you so much. And I just want to compliment you on the excellent work that you're doing. Of course, I always say leadership starts from the top. And I know before you came, there was just a little going on at Georgia Piedmont. But since you've been there, I've seen it progress, and I've seen so many partnerships developed. And so I just want to thank you for a job well done. And we look forward to being there on the 7th. And of course, we will all send it out to our constituents so that we can make DeKalb proud.
Glad to do it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, I think, Zach, I think that you had a short presentation.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Chair. And what we would like to do is, Ms. Cisse, Lakeisha Cisse would come to the podium. What we would love to do is just give an overview of where we are as it relates to the operational assessment. And this is something we're going to be providing an update to each of the committees, but we felt it important to start here because ops is where this item first came forward to the board. And so what Lakeisha will do, or Ms. Cisse will do, is just provide kind of an understanding for the ops committee as to what has been going on over the past couple of months since the presentation, the original presentation of the operational assessment by Malden and Jenkins, and lay out what we can expect next year. We anticipate 2026 really to be that year that we address a myriad of issues, quite frankly, 266 issues that were presented in the study, spanning across 18 departments and each of the committees. So, Ms. Cisse, if you could present for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks, COO Williams. Good morning, Commissioners. How are you?
Good morning.
It's great to see you again.
It's good to see
Wanted
you.
to make sure that we could come back and share an update in the Ops Committee, which this project originated in a couple of months ago. We've been plenty busy, so happy to share a few progress updates, and as COO mentioned, discuss what the plan is for the top of the year when we begin one-on-one department support. But happy to report that implementation is already underway. And so you have the report out that was developed for the Ops Committee specifically. We have put a written report together for all of the 5 committees in which the 18 departments that were included in the Malden and Jenkins assessment align to. So for Ops, the departments in focus are Animal Enforcement Services, DeKalb 311 Helps Desk, Facilities, Fleet, and IT. All right. So since October, we've been working on a few things. As you may recall, the scope of work is broader than just the management and oversight of the implementation. We've also been working with these same departments over the last couple of months in defining new key performance measures, identifying the data sources, and attempting to put together dashboards so we can get a baseline understanding of performance trends. So we will have data-driven insights to share with you all at the top of next year as well. We've also been creating this implementation management process. And over the last 2 months, we implemented a survey and asked all 18 departments who were included in the assessment to provide an update on two primary things. One, whether or not they agree with the various recommendations that were provided and put forward in the report, and also what the implementation status of those recommendations are. I know I don't have it on the board, so I'll try to walk through here. You'll see on this slide, the page numbers are missing, but the combined survey insights, the first page where you see the graph breakdown, this is a compilation of both the acceptance breakdown and implementation status breakdown of the Ops Committee departments. And what you'll notice is that we have a total, across all departments, a total of 56 recommendations. We have 1 recommendation that's been reported complete, 9 quick wins in which we will work with these departments one-on-one to accelerate at the top of next year. And we have some insights as well from this survey on departments mentioning additional resources that are required for them in order to move their recommendations forward. I think what's noteworthy here is that you'll notice that most of the recommendations are agreed upon or are in alignment with departments as it pertains to their relevance, importance. And the implementation status breakdown does show that some progress has been made thus far. So this means that with no assistance, departments have recognized that these recommendations are important and feasible and have already begun to implement them. You'll notice, though, that most of the recommendations are actually still not started, and we intend to uncover more about the type of assistance required for departments when we begin department action planning at the top of the year. So this report, and you have it to look at, and I'm happy to, take any questions. I'll pause in a moment if there's anything that you've seen that you want further discussion on. But what I'll do is just at a high level discuss some of the insights across the various departments. If there's anything that you want to discuss about a specific department, I'm happy to either try to answer that now or follow up if we need to do a little research to answer your question effectively. But key qualitative insights for the departments in focus is that, recommendations do align with their operational realities, but progress is slowed. Some of the reasons that progress has been slowed has been noted by departments as, vacancies, funding dependencies, workload constraints. These are some of the things that are coming up consistently. I do know that some departments have been asked to take into consideration the requirements to implement their recommendations and make sure that that's included in their budget proposals for this year. So we do hope that some of the financial constraints, where feasible, would have been removed, hopefully by the top of next year, but depending on where things land on budget. Second, insight that cuts across the various Ops Committee departments is that aging facilities and workspace constraints directly impact service quality and staff well-being. And so that's also just, there's been specific recommendations for the facilities department, but there's also been recommendations and issues identified across various departments that do, mention that it's a facility issue. So we'll be taking paying close attention to that as well. Technology modernization has come up again as a constraint. Staffing structures, career pathways, training gaps are also significant themes. Not surprising, the need to update procedures and documentations is also coming across, as well as improving cross-department coordination in order to actually achieve several of these recommendations. And so what we're doing as a consulting team is thinking about mechanisms to create space for departments to share best practices, cross-pollinate ideas and resources next year, because a lot of these challenges are not unique to individual departments. They're emerging across the various departments in this committee, as well as the other full 18 and the others. So I'll pause there to see if there are any questions. This is just us coming to provide a quick update, but we certainly will have more insight at the top of the year.
Okay. Thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments on? Okay.
Thank you, and I appreciate you getting back to us so quickly. It seemed like just probably last week or a couple days ago you were in front of us. So thank you for the updates. It's really great to see that some progress has been made in lieu of you guys jump-starting with the department. So that means there was opportunity and capacity previously. They just needed a little bit more support and accountability and encouragement to get that done. But on the slide with the data, where you have the recommendation acceptance breakdown and implementation status breakdown, in the red under recommendation where you have disagree, does that correlate with what's rejected or blocked with implementation? Is there any connection between those two?
I want to actually double check in our formulas to confirm. I would assume so, but I actually don't recall the specific correlation, so I don't want to misspeak. What I will say is that on the recommendation acceptance breakdown, the 11% disagreed. We do have specific insights from the various departments and the reasons why they disagree, and we intend to gather more information in our one-on-one sessions at the top of the year.
Okay. And that disagree, does that in any way indicate that those are recommendations that will not be pursued by
That's a great question. So the implementation management process that we created, we established a governance framework. And so this was the first step in the governance framework. We asked the department heads, tell us, do you agree, do you disagree? Now we're going to have those one-on-one conversations, get more information about why they disagree. We'll escalate that to COO Williams for an opinion on whether or not the recommendation should still move forward for various reasons. And if there's any blockage there, then it moves up to the CEO, and then we'll come to the BOC if necessary. So we've already put in place a framework for this, but we wanted to be respectful that the departments are the ones living these realities day in and day out. So we believe that they should certainly provide insight on whether or not they believe the recommendation is relevant for them. So we just intend to kind of assess on a case-by-case basis, but if need be, it will be escalated for decision support.
And you kind of alluded to a similar question I was going to ask with respect to the rejected and blocked. Was that more so they just didn't have the resource or capacity, or did it correlate with what you were just explaining about the disagree?
It varies department to department. So these are this is a representative of combined insights. So wouldn't be able to speak in general there. But what I will say again is that, yes, there are, anytime we ask, do you reject it or you disagree, they were required to provide further insight. So if there's like a specific department's report that you want us to drill down in, we're happy to publish that.
Okay, thank you so much for that, and I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Patrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I apologize for running late this morning. Things happen, unfortunately. Good morning. I apologize to you as well for being late. One question that I just want to ask as you're going through this, and you may have already addressed it, but will the CEO's budget sort of reflect what you need operationally to be able to achieve?
Great. Let's see what's trying to.
Commissioner, there may be a few things that will be recommended in the budget.
Okay.
But probably more at mid-year, once we've had an opportunity to really dig into the needs and assess when there are requests, quite frankly, whether there are ways to restructure existing budgets before adding more money.
Understood. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Absolutely. So we mentioned that right before you came in, that as it pertains to the quick wins, some departments, while going through this survey, had considered some of the requirements needed in order to move some of their recommendations forward. And I've already heard from a few that they've taken those considerations into their budget proposals. Now, the areas where there's progress not started, they require additional support for some of those larger, more major projects. COO Williams is right. We're going to lean in, try to understand, better document what those requirements are. You may see over time additional requests coming through associated with these, but there is already some consideration for this cycle.
Okay. I guess just as a follow-up, with whatever budgetary priorities are set aside for implementing this, will you have a way to call those out or draw our attention to an explanation why something might be a little bit higher or something's a little bit lower?
Absolutely. We'll make sure that that's part of our conversation. And I think the beauty of over the next couple of months, we'll be submitting the budget, of course, today,
Yep.
right? But in committee, we will be able to have this type of dialogue with actual departments and kind of talk through, here is why we're addressing this. Here are the things that are called out in the operational assessment and so forth.
Perfect. Thank
I
you.
think that'll be important.
Thank you again.
Yeah, I would assume, and I think that Commissioner Bowden asked a lot of my questions about the recommendations, but I would assume that they're just not focused on the lack of resources. I mean, there's other factors that are being considered
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Funding, obviously, communication, right, et cetera. So some process support. So there are other items or categories that are emerging around additional support or resources required. Funding is certainly one that comes up consistently, but I think, what we can do is sort of lean in on the consulting side and identify, alternative solutions in some instances that are more feasible if funding is truly a roadblock. There's a variety of ways for us to still meet certain objectives and key results outside of, a department just being adamant about, there's one strategy and it costs X amount. So, I think the process we're putting in place is supposed to help sort of balance all of this and finally provide the support to accelerate some of these recommendations. But departments are already on their way and taking it pretty seriously and have been very helpful and supportive in the process. So I just want to commend them for their focus so far.
Are you getting cooperation from departments, from all of the departments in the implementation of this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I will say, the staffing capacity is a true blocker, right? And so we've had to readjust the pace of our work plan, and some of the things we intended to do this fall, we realized needed to be moved to the top of next year, just given all of the demands that are on departments, to be quite honest. It's budget time, and they've got a few other enterprise-wide consulting projects going. So we're trying to be sensitive with just how much work this is. So a lot of work to do, but we're trying to pace it and be considerate. But departments have been very cooperative.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I thank you for that update. Look forward to a more detailed
Absolutely.
Update beginning of the year.
Absolutely.
And so did you have another question?
I didn't have a question, but I do see that Commissioner Long Spears is on with us via Zoom. Is that correct?
Oh, I did not know that. Is Commissioner Long Spears on?
Good morning. Yes, ma'am. I am here. I'm just
okay.
listening.
Oh, okay. Good morning. Did you have any, I don't know why I wasn't informed.
Don't worry.
But do you have any comments, questions?
No, ma'am. I'm appreciative to have listened to the assessment update. I'm glad it's going so smoothly. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Absolutely.
you. Okay, well, we look forward to a more detailed, comprehensive
Absolutely.
review when you come back the first of the year.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, right now we're going to take our agenda items, and then we will come back and finish our discussions. Okay, the first item is 240842. That is standing procedure rules. We'll come back to that. The next item is charter review. We'll come back to that. The next items will be our agenda items. 2025-1742, all commission districts, rapid response for food emergencies and food resilience. HUD initiative, purchasing policy exemptions, consists of the implementation of a two-phase initiative to address both immediate hunger relief and long-term community resilience. A contract will be developed and executed in a form acceptable to the county attorney or his designee. Awarded to Retenzer LLC, amount not to exceed $551,000.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. And if I could, we're going to be offering a substitute to this item. We've had a number of discussions relative to how does the county address food insecurity. And we brought forward this item a few weeks back with the intention of working directly with Rataza to essentially establish food pantries and food distributions. We may come back to that, but where we are today is how do we address food insecurity through the first quarter of 2026? We all recognize that with the federal government and with just the economy as it is, we need to ensure that we are doing our part in assisting and getting food out to the community. So what we're going to be proposing is a substitute item that will take us through the first quarter of 2026 with monthly distributions, kind of like type of thing that we've done in the past, so that we assure that every month at least, between 5,000 and 6,000 families are provided food supplies that last for several days. So I would like to have Martha Ravello, our Chief Intergovernmental Affairs Officer, come up and present our concept that will be essentially insourcing what we had talked about using Rataza for, but having the Human Services Department play a key role in distributing the food through some of our community partners who have been vetted by Human Services, who you will all know we've worked with in the past. But what we're going to be proposing in a substitute tomorrow with the endorsement of OPS is bringing forward a monthly distribution through the first quarter of 2026. Ms. Ravello?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners and Madam Chair. So I wanted to do a really brief presentation on where we are today as it pertains to food insecurity and resilience. So first and foremost, I want to thank you all for your contribution and investment of $800,000 over the course of the last 2 months. As you know, we have a food distribution this Saturday, correct? And we will be giving out 6,000 boxes, just like we did in November, which is a huge deal. I was out there. I hope that you are able to join us this Saturday, but the families are lining up, and the need is there. And so I just want to thank you all for that initial investment. But as you know, due to the SNAP gap, we don't know what to expect in January. We may be in the same situation. We can't overlook this. This is just like housing. it is an issue. And so I don't have it with me today, but I did have a map that I created with the GIS that actually, and I'll send it over to you all, that actually showed how much of food insecurity we have. I do want to make it clear that there's a little bit of confusion that goes on when we talk about food insecurity. There's a difference between food deserts and food insecurity. So what we're looking at right now is food insecurity according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's definition. And even within that definition, there's a difference between low food insecurity and very low food insecurity. So the difference is the quality and variety of the diet and little to no indication of reduced food intake. And very low insecurity is disrupted eating patterns, reduced food intake due to the lack of resources. And so, again, I don't have the map with me today, unfortunately, but I am creating a whole landing page in which our residents will be able to map it out across the county. And what I saw was that it's also in the north part of the county, something that oftentimes we don't think about or we don't look at. So I will be sharing that with you. So this is a little bit of data just so we know sort of where we are as far as percentage, including the rate. Statewide, we are at 13.1%, but in DeKalb County, we have a rate of 13.6. That's pretty high. That's pretty high statewide. I wanted to point that out so we understand where we are. But amongst children, it's even higher. It's 18.4. And I want to thank the Human Services Department for pulling this data for us today. So over the course of the last 2 years, the Human Services Department has done some level of work through grants to give out to our different partner organizations as well as distributing boxes. So we have served 43,400 families, which is such a big deal. But it's still, I feel like over the course of 2 years, that is not enough. And I just want to thank them for their work and their efforts into giving out these grants and these funds to our local organizations. They have really great partners across the county. And so north, south, and east and west have been covered with this number. And so I just wanted to share that from the Human Services Department. And so over the course of the last year, they awarded $43,136 to the Atlanta Community Food Bank, Corners Outreach, and Global Growers Network. So they are the distributors, right? They are the ones that actually do the distributions, not the local organizations. But they go out and they feed our local orgs, in which that is the number of 43,400 families. Over the course of November and December, as I mentioned, we are donating 6,000 this upcoming Saturday, but we already donated 6,000 boxes. And so these are the locations. New Life to Plaza Fiesta, we were all over the map, and they were strategically placed. We chose them according to where we knew the need was. And so I just wanted to just point that out because it was a very, very big deal. So thank you again for your efforts there. So how do we get to the point of creating this sort of resilience initiative? I started receiving calls from different community leaders, and they were saying, we want to help DeKalb County. We want to give donations. We want to give our location, etc. And so we needed to come up with a plan because we technically don't really do much. We're not in that business. What we do is give grants. And so we started working with, for example, the Midwest Food Bank donated 700 boxes. They just emailed me and said, we want to give DeKalb County 700 boxes. So what do we do with that? I worked with COO Williams to use our resources, our facilities department, to be able to go pick them up from South Georgia, bring them to 2 locations, one on Memorial Drive and to New Life, and to give this out during that weekend. So it was the following weekend after we did our huge distribution. So we gave out to about 700 families. I will say on Memorial Drive, I was there and there was a line since 4 a.m. I don't know if that's, how early people get up, but that was pretty shocking to see that folks were trying to line up at that time when our distribution was not until 10. So I just want to point that out. And of course, MARTA partnered with us to give away 100 turkeys at Kensington Station, which was very kind of them to invite us to participate along with Rataza. And just one thing, Embark Youth Farm, they do provide weekly distributions at a very small scale, but we want to be able to leverage that as well through different grants through the USDA and matching dollars. And so we can think through what that can look like as far as doing urban farming. But that was an initiative from Madam CEO when she was commissioner. And I was very, very familiar with it when she was trying to obtain some federal grants, but it's still going and it's still operating. We just want to scale it. So I just wanted to also provide that information as we move forward. And so now, where are we today as we give out these food boxes for next week and then moving forward into the new year? So over the weekend, we did announce that there was going to be a donation given to the same house. And that's $25,000 that we announced, in which we will be using that into our January or first quarter donations. But I want everyone to be aware that each food box is $40 to $60. So it's very expensive. This is not, we're only $25,000 can only cover so much. And last week, some Ismaili civic organization committed 3,000 pounds of food to DeKalb County. And today they're actually giving that donation to St. Paul in Tucker. And I'm really excited about that because we were able to coordinate and facilitate. So that's sort of the role in which we're heading into. In our cities, we can't forget about our 1213 jurisdictions. And so I want to make sure that we continue to partner with them in some of these efforts. So really quickly, for the next, as Zach mentioned, what we want to do here is have a short-term and a long-term strategy. For the first quarter, we want to be able to give out, well, this is just for January alone. This is an example of what we could do, 2,000 boxes a week, 8,000 families, but we are sort of going in a different direction to do monthly distributions. So that this needs to be updated. But these are the organizations that we want to target. And I am open, we are open, if there's any other recommendation. We are doing north, south, and east and west, both large scale and small scale that have the capacity of having 300 or plus boxes with their volunteers, et cetera. So we have Decatur, the Latin American Association, New Life, New Birth, et cetera. So again, these are just chosen based on the capacity, but if you have any other recommendations, please send it over my way. And these were vetted by the Human Services Department. They already received grants from us, and so that's very important to note as well. For our long-term resilience strategy, and this is my final slide, the Human Services team is willing to facilitate a lot of this. If you take a look, and when you have a chance, Gwinnett County has a great community services department that actually houses food insecurity, and they have a whole team doing this. And so long-term wise, that would be the idea, to have coordinators out there with volunteer opportunities. I just don't want us to lose sight of the community engagement and the return of investment if we partner with a lot of our organizations that want to also give us donations or volunteers. We don't have that platform today. So I want to mirror a lot of the landing page that they have, so we can have a little subsection there to say, if you want to volunteer sign up here, and it'll be one of our local organizations that we're working with. So we're looking at different structures on how to have an in-house sort of department around food resiliency, and that's where the Food Resilience Initiative comes from. And I don't have an answer like in what direction we're going into today, but that will be my next presentation. And so what I do want is for us to have a full-time investment opportunity here, and also have some level of matching to where if we have a corporation that wants to give us X amount of dollars, we can say, okay, this is where we have an ROI. So again, thank you so much, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. Are there any questions, comments? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the presentation. I think this is a great means of support for the community. We're responding to the immediate need, which when we have the capacity to do it, it's always a blessing to do. And you indicated that some of the partners are smaller locations. Maybe they can do, I think you said 300 plus. In areas such as unincorporated Decatur, I know when it's a smaller distribution, a lot of times you have folks that ride MARTA to get to the locations, and I just want to make the inquiry whether these are all accessible via public transportation.
So I believe a few are, but again, I think to your point, I'm happy to make that recommendation to make sure we add one or two if we don't have any that have access to MARTA.
Thank you. I yield back.
Okay.
Just a comment, I have 2 or 3 organizations up in my district that I think that would be good partners. So let me get their contact information together and I'll email it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. And so we can expect a substitute for tomorrow, and if you could briefly let us know about the substitute.
Yes, so thank you, Madam Chair. So in anticipation of having food distributions through the first quarter of 2026, monthly distributions, and we'll sort out exactly how many, and there may be, we have these key sites that we have identified, but the long and short is each distribution is approximately $400,000. So what we will be bringing forward tomorrow is a substitute item requesting $1.2 million for food distributions through Q1 2026.
I'm sorry, what was that amount again?
$1.2 million
And that's throughout
through first quarter of 2026.
first quarter. Okay, is there any questions from Zach? For Zach? You all have anything?
Nope,
Okay.
I'm good. Good.
Okay, we'll look for that substitute tomorrow. Okay.
With that, I do want to clarify that the substitute will indicate whether it's still going to be awarded to Rataza. That's changing.
Right, we're going to put that on hold. The substitute item tomorrow will be for, as Chief Ravello just explained, in-source operation.
Okay.
Where we're going to manage it ourselves, just in the interest of time and so forth. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cleared
So,
up. Thank
right,
you.
Thank you. And if I could have a motion of support, I'd appreciate it.
Excuse me, and I know that Commissioner Long-Spears is on. Do you have a comment or question?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My only question is for Ms. Ravello. I do have a couple of ideas as well as Commissioner Patrick of organizations that could be helpful in this case. Do we need to email it to you by end of week? I apologize if I missed that.
Well, preferably today or end of week works, but we just want to make sure it's included within our presentation for the substitute item.
Okay, so if the sub is tomorrow, then today. All righty, very good. Well, I will send you over that information.
Yeah, so that would be ideal. But there's going to be a certain amount of flexibility that's going to need to be built in because, maybe the third distribution, we, add a site or things like that. So, that flexibility will always need to be there. So if you have any that you would like us to be aware of, please send it now. Recognize those that we have presented have already been vetted through Human Services, and we know that they're ready to go. But, this is I don't want to call it fear, but in the back of my mind, I am believing that we'll be having this conversation not just through the end of Q1,
Right.
but as an ongoing conversation.
Because it's my understanding that all organizations will be vetted.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Could y'all circulate the presentation and specifically the list of entities that y'all have already designated?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you kindly, as soon as you can, and I will work towards providing that information by close of business. Thank you all. Yield back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve a substitute for BOC tomorrow.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, the next item is 251592. All commission districts is a change order to contract number 2000183 for fuel delivered with related services. You can read the number. For use by public work fleet management, this contract consists of the purchase of gasoline and diesel fuel to support the operations of county vehicles and equipment. This request seeks to increase contract term through January the 31st, 27, and funds awarded to Mansfield Oil Company of Gainesville, Inc., amount not to exceed $75 million. Is that back from audit?
Yes, ma'am, it came back from audit, supported.
Okay.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
And this is the contract. We get the fuel for all the vehicles in the county. We do have a separate one for, red dye diesel, which is for the vehicles at the landfill and off-road. But this contract, we deliver fuel to 29 locations in the county from this contract.
Okay, are there any questions, concerns? If not, do you have a question? Yes. Okay.
Just a clarifying question. I know in the description of the item, the amount not to exceed is 7.5 million, but in the purpose, it's 7.3 million.
7.5 is what we requested. I'm not sure about what you're actually saying.
Okay. And I also like to clarify, because in the full description of the item, it says that 5.4 was already spent. So is this request to just increase that amount by about 2.1 million to make the total 7.5?
This is actually a request for the entire next year, about $7,500,000. The Michelle just said the 7.3 that you saw was from the previous year.
Okay. Okay, I see what that increase is. I got you, from 7.3 last year to 7.5 moving forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I yield back.
You have anything?
No.
Okay, if there's no further questions, is there a motion? And Commissioner Lone Spears, if you have anything, just jump in and let me know.
Yes, ma'am, will do.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item 1592.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item is the airport, 251750, Commission Districts 1 and 6, Sortswell contract 030223, scoreboard, digital display, and video boards with related services for use by the DeKalb Peachtree Airport. This contract seeks to ratify previously issued purchase order to provide for the competitively let Sortswell contract. You can read the number for the provision and replacement of the airport's electronic message center. The airport access and EMC is outdated and out of warranty, rendering repairs to be costly and no longer beneficial. This contract features a long and higher resolution display cover the removal and disposal of the old EMC, as well as installation, setup, and maintenance services of the new EMC, awarded to Daktronics, Inc., amount not to exceed $124,625. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so yes, this item is for the replacement of our front marquee sign. As stated, the other one is outdated and really cannot be find parts and worked on any longer. So we're just looking to replace the front signage board.
Okay. Any questions, comments? If none, okay.
The replacement probably take a day or two at most.
I'm sorry?
The replacement, the new sign installation will probably take about a day or two. Is that
I
fair to
think
say?
they've set aside roughly about a week.
A week, okay, okay, all right. All right, thank you.
Okay, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve 1750.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's approved. Thank you. The next item is all commission districts. 25-18-16, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of DeKalb County, Georgia, to establish a formal process for appointing a commissioner to the DeKalb County Continuum of Care Governing Board. Who's this at?
I think this was Commissioner Terry.
That's correct. It was Commissioner Terry's item.
Okay. Is there a motion to continue this until Commissioner Terry can speak on it? Or to defer it?
I move to defer item 1816 to, what is the date?
Oh,
1/13, January 13.
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So that item is deferred to 113. The next item is Chief Executive Offices. 25-1705, all commission districts, change order number 7 to contract 1090364, state legislative lobbying services for use by the Chief Executive Officer and the Board of Commissioners. This contract consists of performing legislative lobbying services on the state level. This request is to increase the contract term through December the 31st, 2026, awarded to Denton U.S. LLP, contract term extension only.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is an extension of the item for state lobbying services. We have been more than pleased with the efforts of Denton's over the past number of years, and we'd like to continue.
Okay. Are there any comments, questions?
They're working under funds from last year or from this year that are going to carry into next year. Is that correct?
This is a change order.
Yes, and then we would ensure in the budget in 2026 we allocate funds.
Gotcha.
There'll be
Okay.
a number of contracts kind of like that where
Okay.
we renew.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
I have a quick question, really more of a clarification, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, is this federal or state? Forgive me, I missed.
This is state,
state.
ma'am.
your comment.
This is
State.
state, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
Okay, Commissioner Bolden, do you have any comments or questions? I'd just like to say, Dan, you do an excellent job. We can call you in the middle of the night and you'll answer the phone. Can't get better than that. Thank you. Okay, is there a motion?
I move to approve item 1705.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that item is approved. The next item is facility management, 251669, all commission districts. Change order number 13 to contract number 1191815. Change order number 11 to contract number 1191816, and change order number 10 to contract number 1191813. And joint contracting services multi-year for use by the Department of Facility Management, Recreation, Parks, Cultural Affairs, for fire rescue services, watershed management, and library. These contracts consist of providing joint contractor services for minor construction projects throughout the county. This request seeks to increase the contract terms through December 31st, 2026, and to release splash funds previously allocated in the amount of $850,000, and to increase contract funds to contract number 1191813, awarded to Artesco Development, LLC, Chris Bird Parker Fry, JV, LLC, and SoCo Construction Contracting, not to exceed $627,877.51.
Good morning,
morning.
Commissioner. Good morning. Yeah, this has several parts to it. The first part is for our on-call contractors. We are extending the contract as the RFP selection process for the new contractors for the next 5-year term has not been completed yet. So we're going to continue using our existing contractors, even though they've come to the end of theirs, until we're able to get the new teams on board. Also, the money goes through several parts. Facilities is only for the extension of the contract. For libraries, $227,877 is for the LED lighting at the Decatur Library. And then the rest of that has to do with parks, and Paige Singer will tell you about that.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. So we have a couple parts as well. So for bookkeeping purposes, we need to release $850,000 from the pool category 3D, and that will go back up into the category to be utilized. And then we also have an additional $400,000 that's tied to operating, and that will be utilized for like boardwalk repairs and just minor repairs throughout the year until the new RFP is completed. So we have two portions as well. A lot of things going on this one.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
Just for clarity then, is it accurate to say that this is actually closer to $1.5 million rather than the $627,000? Because we're also authorizing $850,000.
You're releasing $850,000 off the category 3D off of SPLOST. So this $627,877.51 is new money to the end of the contract. The $850 is being released out of that category.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Just for clarity, that means that the $850 was already discussed and approved to be spent?
Correct. Yes, that is correct. Yes, this is just bookkeeping to get it off of the category itself, but
Perfect.
it has been repurposed. Yes.
Understood. Okay. Thank you very much.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve item 1669.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that item is approved. The next item is 251719, all commission districts, change order number 5 to contract number 1274588, card access, key scan, installation, maintenance, and repair. And your contract with 2 options to renew for use by the Department of Facility Management, Watershed Management, Public Works, Sanitation, and Police Services. This contract consists of the installation, maintenance, and repair of all card access points. This request seeks to increase the contract funds, terms, and scope through March the 31st, 2026. Awarded to Southeastern Security Professionals, LLC, amount not to exceed $519,760.33. Okay, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. So Southeastern Security Professionals, they do all our repairs, installation, and maintenance for our badge access system. So when you scan your card at the card reader and let you in the building, that's what they do. And they also do some video camera work. So this request is to extend the contract to March 31st and to add funds for the maintenance and repairs. And that's for facilities, police services actually has a system, watershed has a system, and sanitation. So we're asking to add the funds to continue that work until March 31st. Also, SPLOST is requesting to add $354,760 of SPLOST funds to install security cameras at the Trinity parking desk. So this will help the security for that. It's a real busy parking deck, and they need more cameras to have coverage in the deck. And this is part of the SPLOST project there.
Okay. You said it's 519,000 is part of the splash.
$354,760.33 is just for the
It's
SPLOST.
splash. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are there any questions? Okay.
Thank you. And I see here that it does indicate they do installations as well. Are we expecting new installations when post renovation at the Maloof building?
At the Maloof Annex, yes.
Okay. Thank you. I yield back.
Okay, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve 1719.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That item is approved. The next item is fleet management, 25-1711. All commission districts, invitation number 25-112. ITV parts and services for vehicle and off-road equipment for use by Public Works, Fleet Management, Police Services, Fire and Rescue, Department of Watershed Management. Consists of the provision of various types of auto parts needed for the maintenance and repair service for various vehicles and equipment to be utilized by various departments within the county. This request reserves the right to transfer funds between contracts based on the need of the county. Recommend award to 32 lowest responsive and responsible bidders. Amount not to exceed $8,465,000. Is this still in audit?
Yes, ma'am. It's an audit. I would ask that you would approve it pending audit. If that's okay, that'd help me save some time getting it up and using it again.
Okay. And we don't think audit will be back by tomorrow.
I don't believe so.
No,
They haven't
okay.
contacted us for any information yet, so I'm pretty sure it won't.
Okay.
So that's gonna delay it, and
Okay.
if you guys could approve it, and
Approve
then
it
pending the audit
pending
coming
the
back, the next
audits.
BOC, I believe it will be back.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve this pending it being supported by audit? Okay.
My question is more process because in the last year I've been here, I haven't experienced this. So if we approve pending audit and it doesn't come back as supported, it just comes back to committee? Is that how that works?
Will it come?
In the past, you guys just wouldn't approve it in the BOC, it would have to come back to audit, and if they tell me to take some money off, it's the only reason they
Yeah.
wouldn't support it. And we just come back with a different figure. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And-
It'll go
and
back
then it
to
would
the full
be-
board or to?
Well, it could be amended, brought by substitute, depending on what audit supports.
Understood.
Okay, just to be clear, if a item is recommended for approval upon receipt of additional information from the committee, it would still go to the board, but it wouldn't come back to committee.
To the committee.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, John. He said it best.
Actually, I've got a question for John just on the calendar. So when's our next BOC meeting? Is it the 6th or is it a cow?
No, sir, after tomorrow, which is your last BOC meeting of the year, your first cow of the year is January 6th, and then your first
13th.
BOC is January 13th, and then we're back on regular schedule. Yes, sir.
Okay. So
it wouldn't have an opportunity to be approved until January 13th. Yes, sir.
Either way.
Yes, sir.
And our next ops meeting is on the 6th?
Six.
On
Yeah.
the 6th. Director, is there either way?
Yeah, either way works. I didn't realize really when the next one was. I just knew that it was gonna be delayed for a while to the next bill season, just like you, I didn't know the date. So if it's gotta come back to ops anyway, that's perfectly fine. There's not another option
It's
for it.
coming back.
Okay. If it's all right, I'd be more comfortable just having you come back and getting Lavoie's
That'd be fine.
input.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Director.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so is there a motion?
Make a motion to defer to the January 13th BOC with a prior stop at ops
On the 6th.
on the 6th.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. January 13th. Okay, the next item is voter registration. The next three items, voter registration. Good morning, Director Smith.
Good morning.
How are you? First item is 25-1204, change order to number 3 to change order number 3 to contract number 1274-583 for voter equipment sole source for use by the Department of Voter Registration and Elections. Consists of the purchase of electronic voting software and hardware products. This request seeks approval to increase contract funds and terms through December 31st, 2026, awarded to Dimension Voting Systems for amount not to exceed $500,000.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. This is our state vendor, Dominion, which is now Liberty Vote. Their name, I think, is in the process of being changed with procurement, but as of right now, they're still listed and registered as Dominion. But these are our voting machines, and then we also, on Election Day, have in-person technical support from one of their technicians. So we're just increasing the terms and increasing the amount and extending the terms through 2026.
Okay. And did you say that the name of the company, Dominion,
Yes.
is changing?
Yes, and I sent you guys an email, I believe, earlier, a few months ago, when they alerted all of the counties that they are now Liberty Vote.
Liberty Vote, okay. Are there any questions? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for joining us today, Director. Is this, we're purchasing more equipment in anticipation of increased turnout?
So, no, we may not purchase additional equipment like the scanners, but we have licenses, yearly, annual licenses that are the biggest cost. And then we may purchase, if they approve the scanners, they have some higher speed scanners, we may purchase a few for early voting, but the bulk of this expense is going to cover the warranties and the licensing fees.
Okay. Thank you. I yield back.
Okay. Do you have anything?
No.
Okay, if there's no further questions or comments, is there a motion?
I move to approve item 1204.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item is 25-1440, and that is a change order. The contract number 2001-51, apparel and election-related supplies, emergency for use by the Department of Voter Registration and Election. This contract consists of purchasing apparel and election-related supplies. This request seeks to increase the contract funds and contract term through January 31st, 2027, awarded to Hello Branded Solutions, Inc., amount not to exceed $75,000.
Yes, ma'am. This is a county vendor that we've utilized as well in VRE. The expense here, or the request, is to extend again the term and increase the amount of the contract. We are purchasing next year Election Day shirts for about 2,000 poll workers. And then we'll also purchase marketing collateral to increase awareness about all of the elections that we will facilitate next year.
Any questions?
Some of the locations, they had shirts this year, didn't they?
Yes, we purchased shirts last year. We didn't purchase any this year, but some of them, because we didn't have a date on them last year, they wore the black and white DeKalb County poll worker shirts. And so we've designed new shirts for the 2026 midterms and gubernatorial cycle already. And we're looking forward to having them next year.
So I just want to say, at the location where I vote, a lot of folks, including my family, commended them and just showed appreciation for that continuity, because it made it easier to identify where you could get your support. And then it was it was encouraging, festive, I might say, when it comes to voting. So I love the idea of that.
Great.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, is there a motion?
I move to approve item 1440.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item is 25, and the last item is 25-15-57. Change order. Number 2, the contract number 1380453, voting election supplies and material for use by the Department of Voter Registration and Elections. This contract consists of the purchase of voting election supplies and material for the 2026 election cycle. This request seeks to increase contract funds and contract term through December 31st, 2026, awarded to Rifkin Company, amount not to exceed $50,000.
Thank you. This is one of our vendors who, actually working with procurement, we found was the only or the best vendor that provides Dominion or Liberty Vote compatible bags, rolling bags. They're branded with DeKalb County's name. We also purchase seals for the machines and things of that nature. And so they've proven to be quick with the turnaround, and again, they're compatible with the state vendors.
Thank you. Are there any questions or concerns?
Nope. Make a motion to approve 1557.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
That item is approved. Thank you. So it's now 11:22. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to the we're gonna come back, John, next week. To our next meeting for the standing procedure rules, and you can come up and talk to us about the procedure and format, John, for the Charter Review Committee report, because we're not going to have an opportunity to go through it, but I do want you to talk about the process, because that was a question that was presented at our last meeting. And I do want everyone to understand, with the review and the review of the standing committee rules as well as the charter review. This is the last meeting for the year, so we're gonna have that procedure for the charter review committee, and then we'll see how far we will get at the beginning of the year. It has been This is a very important document, both of them, and it has been my intent to go through it thoroughly so that whatever we adopt, it would have gone through a thorough, comprehensive process. And so you want to come forth and tell us about the procedures that you have.
Would you like to start with procedural rules? Or?
Well, no, just go on and start with the charter review because we only have about 6 minutes left in this committee.
You're actually scheduled till 12, Commissioner.
It's an hour and a half.
No, I scheduled it for 2 hours.
No, I scheduled it for an hour and a half.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. For charter review recommendations, we have a new memo sent by the law department. I believe it was sent on Friday, but this takes into account some of the changes.
Okay,
that
hold
was
on.
requested.
My county attorney has something to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I just was going to introduce the document that was sent out Friday.
Oh, okay.
As requested in the last ops committee, I know the chart was a little unwieldy. So what we did, as requested in the committee, we've put together one comprehensive memo. It should be in your email dated December 12th, and I think you were given copies today. What we endeavored to do in that document is a couple of things, okay? We divided the charter review recommendations into 4 distinct categories, and they are broken down in this document in those 4 categories. The first, where the Charter Review Commission recommended no changes be made to the section at all. We pulled those out and put them in a list for easy reference. Your second category are recommended changes that we think likely can be implemented via home rule. Your third category are those we do not believe can be implemented via home rule. And the fourth are those where we still have questions. Okay. The first 2 pages of this memo include the basic parameters of home rule, as well as the provisions for amendment of the Org Act, so you all can see how we made these preliminary determinations. And then within the document, it's a dense document, but I think it has everything you all need for a one-stop shop, so to speak. So you can look at this and understand. Within each section, we have also included the recommendations of former CEO Thurman, as well as the thoughts of our current CEO. I sat down last week with Ms. Ravello and the CEO a couple of times and in great detail. And so what you'll see in this document, former CEO Thurman's thoughts are highlighted in blue. And then we have divided our current CEO's comments. If they are highlighted in pinkish purple, that means she supports. If they are highlighted in red, that means she has some concerns we may want to discuss. You will also note in the sections where we have indicated we think legislative action is or may be necessary at the state level, you will see yellow highlights. Those are my thoughts as to why we believe legislative action is necessary. Again, based either on the terms of the Org Act or the terms of the Home Rule, as included in this memo. The last thing attached to this memo is the actual charter review recommendation, the 74 page document that they produced. That, I don't know, they printed it out for you, but it is in your emails. That document has the exact language that the Charter Review Commission recommended. So when you look and you see, we're saying this can be done with, let's just pick one, say it can be done within home rule. When you look at their exact language, understand changes in the proposed language can change our opinion on whether or not it can be done via home rule and whether it can be done within the terms of the Org Act without a referendum, okay? So 2 levels of question, home rule, Org Act, okay? Both really relate to powers. If these things touch powers, that's what you need to think of as you read through it. If it's adjusting the balance of power in any way, chances are it needs to go to the state, and chances are that's going to require a referendum. So we worked hard to get this in a more usable digestible format for your holiday reading and enjoyment. And I think this should allow us to walk through and identify both those that need state action and will allow us to have a more focused conversation on those areas where you may want to see changes.
Okay.
So that's what this is. Happy to address any questions on the document itself. And then I'll kick it back over to Mr. Manson for process. But I just wanted you all to understand what we had done since you saw us last week and the efforts we'd made to make this a little more digestible and understandable for you.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say and commend you, Matthew. It was a lot of working parts to that. And it was really not comprehensible for us, for some of us.
Well, let's hope we fixed that. It was a group effort to try to get it there.
And so, so everyone enjoy your holidays by digesting, reviewing, and comprehending what Matthew has put together for us. And and hopefully when we come back at the beginning of the year, we can start digging into it and making decisions. And we will be past the procedural aspect of it. But if you don't have a procedure that is comprehensive to everyone, then you miss details. And so, John, you want to come?
Yes, ma'am. Much like what we did with what we are doing with procedural rules, we'll go through the document section by section and get the committee's recommendation, and then if there is no consensus on the committee, we'll send it to the full board.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And so we're in the midst of the standing rules, so, and so hopefully we will get that with the charter review as well. But you've done a good job. You focused us, and we appreciate you. Is there anything else? Oh, Commissioner Spears is still on. Long Spears.
I am still here. Thank you very much. No additional questions from me.
Oh, okay. Are there any other? Okay.
I just want to reiterate as well, I really appreciate you guys putting it together like this, especially because anything that cuts down on the time it takes us to get through these discussions and actually come to a decision, a confirmatory decision, I really appreciate. And at first glance, this looked really easy to follow and digest. So I just want to say thank you to all of you for hearing us last week and the community.
Yes, it is much easier to digest and go through. I want to acknowledge that my concerns over Section 12 were noted. Thank you very much. They are minor, but with experience, you always have a situation where there's a divided or missing elected, and so I think it is important for the executive to be able to step in and make that call. Beyond that, I want to thank you for giving me a good Christmas read and New Year's as well. Appreciate you guys very much. And when we come back for January 6th, I look forward to really digging into this and moving this forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. If there's no further business, is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.